Talk about your team a little bit. When you are looking for people to join your company, what do you look for?
So I think it's changed over time, first of all. I think when you are a very large company, you're going to prioritize the job description, what kind of the scope of the job that the person will be working on, and then you're going to look for those particular skills. You want very smart people and so on and so on. But the smaller you are, let's say a company of 1 or 2 or 10 or 150 like we are today, then you are going to prioritize other things along the way. So at the beginning, it was really about embracing the value was actually the number one things I was looking for. And then the more we grow, now we're balancing it. It's a mix of values, it's a mix of getting the right fit for the job. So it's just like the more you grow, the more you're going to shift your priorities. But I would say this is what I identified in that journey, is what you look for is actually change alongside how big you are, because if you hire the wrong person in the early stage of your company, that wrong person can actually do serious damage to your culture. But still at our stage, I would say that value, culture is still one of the top priority that we look for.
One of the things that I think oftentimes happens is a company, usually the founder, comes up with a set of values. This is what our company values are.
Yeah.
And then those values over time start to exist just on a web page somewhere, buried in the website. And if you go in a company and you say, hey, does anyone know the values? No one knows it. Maybe the person who just started, maybe they learned it for the interview, but most of them don't. But what people don't realize is that those values are oftentimes created by the founder, and it gives the company a characteristic.
Yes.
And if your employees can see themselves in a few of the values, then they see themselves within the company outside of just their job.
Yeah.
And that really kind of breeds a good culture. So I love that you brought that up, the culture and the values, because that's incredible. Do you have teams that work remote?
We do. So we have most of the teams is actually working from. We have hubs, so we have 8 of them. So we have France, UK, Germany, US, Canada, Singapore, and Australia and Malaysia. But in those hubs, we have people who are working from the hub and others that are just remote. So we have kind of this mix, and we're kind of a bit flexible depending on what we're looking for. If you look at the US, our main hub is based in San Francisco, but we also need to address customers based in the East Coast. That's why we had to have remote people from New York operating from there, with people in Chicago, from Portland, from like all over the place in the US. But most of the staff is actually still in the hub for 80% of them.
How do you, with these people spread across everywhere, how do you maintain the culture with these people? How do you maintain consistency? How do you build this team and make it strong when everyone's remote?
That's a good question. So I would like to kind of talk a little bit about the foundation of the company on the culture side. So Salesforce made a gift to me, which I did not realize the greatness of that gift at the time. So Salesforce invented the V2MOM. Are you familiar with the V2MOM?
No.
So V2MOM stands for vision, values, methods, obstacles, and metrics. So think of it as your OKR, like you're going to have a strategy that you're going to share across your company, and you're going to not only define who you are from a vision perspective, you're going to lay off your values. Salesforce employees need to work on their V2MOM every year across the whole company for the last 25 years of the company. So it's really part of their culture. So when I was working for 6 years at Salesforce, I worked for 6 years in a row on my V2MOM, so I got used to it. So when I founded the company, the first thing that I've been working on was my V2MOM, because that's, I thought, was the number one step. Is if you create your business plan, you create your V2MOM, you have a vision, you define your values, you're going to define how you're going to go to your vision and execute with your methods, what are the obstacles along the way, and how do you measure success so that if you mess up, well, do you stop your company, or are you going to do better? So I created my V2MOM on day one, and the first thing that I've done on day one was to actually work on the values. But at the time, I worked on it, but I didn't realize how important it was, because I was the only one in the company. So I was fully aligned with my own values. But along the way, from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to growing the company to a much larger company, you realize one of the biggest challenge as a company is actually not the go-to-market, it's the value. Because you're going to hire people, and to your point, if they're remote, it's probably harder for them to adhere to the values of the company. So the first answer that I have is unify your company with the backbone of your value, and what are they? And many companies, they will come up with values for the marketing sake of it. We are a customer success company, we are a trust company, we are a security company. But in reality, all of their decision, or most of the time, inconsistent with the value that they have.
Yeah, you have to measure against
Yeah.
the things that you do should always measure against your values.
Yeah, so when you do a V2MOM in the Salesforce methodology, you'll not only list things like methods, obstacle, metrics, or values, but you will also order them. And the first one is more important than the second one, and the second one is more important than the third one, which is not an easy exercise, because if you have to choose between, being kind and being very customer-centric, okay, which one are you going to make your top priority, which means the other one is less true. So that's why the V2MOM forced you to actually prioritize those values. So we came up with values for the company that start with trust for us, because we are in the data security business. And if you mess up with trust, then you're going to be not successful in the security business. You start from there. The security of the customer, the security of the partners, the security of the employees. And trust is our number one value. So then we have three values that are very enterprise-centric. We have excellence, engagement, and Seva. Seva, which is in our name, which is from the Sanskrit, meaning giving back to the community, but being very in the customer service. So those are the three that we selected because we are truly enterprise. So imagine you go to a Louis Vuitton store, the experience you will get, imagine the experience you will get in that store. So because we work with the largest enterprise in the world, we welcome them in our store. So we have to have white glove services, welcoming them in the store. That's why we put them at the top of the value. And then we were talking about innovation. So Kaizen is the fifth value that we have. Kaizen is like, we have the best technology because we're humble enough to say it's the best, but we think we can still do better. And that mindset kind of bring the 1% improvement every day. So that's the last one we have is one, because we believe in collective intelligence. You can hire the best individual, but if you don't have collective intelligence, the individual quality will always be overwhelmed by the group. So we believe that more than just being strong individuals and experts, like the collective intelligence and the respect for that collective intelligence is what makes us very, very unique. So back to your question, how do we tackle the remote and the culture? We federated with the V2MOM first. And then we will have, how do we operate it? So we have a monthly meeting with everyone. We have 3 regions of the globe. I mentioned Australia, Singapore, and Malaysia. But when we, for example, right now, the French people, the German people, or the UK team are currently sleeping. But this morning, the APAC team was actually sleeping. So you can never have the whole company on a call. It's impossible. It's always night somewhere. That's why what we do is we do rotation, typically, and we prioritize, we do fireside chats. So that it's not just about sharing what's going on in the group, is listening, sharing feedback, having an open door. We use Slack for the whole group to connect the team. And we try to favor trying to fly people once in a while, and if we can fly them, we fly to them to meet with them and connect them to the culture of the company.
I love that.